Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about repetition and how applying repetition, focus, consistency is literally the answer to getting what you want. So it's going to simplify the whole manifesting process and show you guys just how easy manifesting can be if you just stay focused on the most important elements. So I'm going to get into all of this today. I have a lot of different points and aspects that I want to touch on today in this video. So do stay tuned to hear everything I have to say. If you would like some extra support, you're struggling, but maybe you don't want to sign up for one-to-one coaching yet, which is a service I actually offer, and I've had loads of good feedback, you can get a more affordable monthly service of becoming an LOA coaching darling through my monthly membership. Everything is linked below. It's just organized via YouTube, so YouTube is in charge of the whole signing up process. The buttons are right below, everything and all my info is right below the screen. So now, without further ado, let's jump into this video. One thing that you want to remember, if you are manifesting something that has a lot of emotional significance to you and is a really important or more slightly overwhelming goal where you feel like this is something I really want to achieve in life, this is my bucket list goal, this is something I want to tick off in my life, like this is a dream of mine and it has more significance to you, then chances are you're going to start from some kind of doubt or negative old story. Something is going to be holding you back because obviously you haven't yet fully or mostly achieved it yet. You want to start manifesting it, you want to keep working towards it, and maybe you're watching this video because you need some extra advice. So chances are you are starting from some kind of doubt, something negative, something within your mindset is holding you back. So given that, you need to remember that it does take time. So it's not going to be an overnight 180 instant shift. It's something that requires a little bit more time, a little bit more effort and focus mentally. So that just means, again, the main focus, as I said with this video title, is repetition. So maybe applying a little bit more consistency with your repetition, robotic affirming, looping your affirmations for longer periods throughout the day, whatever it may be. You need to acknowledge that it's going to take a little bit more time than something very simple and insignificant. So some coaches probably don't agree with this. Perhaps some titles even can be kind of clickbaity, which I'm not fully opposed to that as long as it's relevant to the topic. But you know, people who promise miracles overnight and guaranteed results, that's not the right approach to coaching in my opinion, or what a expert in manifestation should be necessarily saying. It does become quite a realistic practice because it's something you build up. It becomes second nature. It's part of your mindset. It's a thought pattern. It's the way you think. It's your viewpoint of life. It's your philosophy about life, right? So thinking that you can create magic and miracles overnight for absolutely anything, no rules applied, no, anything you want, like 5 inches longer hair, winning $1 million overnight. Technically things are possible, but to go in and realistically expect, a 180 shift overnight starting from a lack or, negativity, it's unrealistic. So just to, again, like I said, remember that it takes time. It's going to help you not spiral, not waver, and acknowledging that with repetition, building it up, building into it, being more consistent every single day, you're building it up more and more. It's becoming stronger and coming closer to your physical reality. Movement is happening. Things are shifting to make way for your manifestation. Whatever needs to happen is happening. But yeah, so if it's a specific person or, like I said, a major life goal, that is actually going to be something that requires a little bit more time and patience. You're probably not going to manifest it overnight the second you start manifesting it, but that's okay. It can still happen very, very quickly. I just want to preface everything with that point because it's important to remember that, repetition is going to lead to what you want because you're saturating the subconscious with a new assumption, and that is what reflects out in our realities, but it's probably not going to physically fully manifest overnight. And it is totally normal for your conscious mind to still bring up negative thoughts, opposing thoughts, any form of doubt, even just, oh, look at what I'm seeing in front of me right now, and reminding you, I'm not seeing the text message here, or, oh, I'm still in this place in my life, or whatever it may be. It can be very, very subtle. It doesn't have to be overtly negative and extremely based on past circumstances or fear or negativity. It can be something more subtle and just pointing out a seemingly simple part of your daily life, but really it's feeding into the lack. It's saying, I still don't have my manifestation, but it is normal for the conscious mind to think this way. But having said that, it is a habit that you want to be aware of, and to the best of your ability, flip around. So again, applying repetition with your mental diet. Let's say your affirmation is, I'm dating SP, and then something reminds you of lack in your conscious mind, then you would again apply repetition. I'm with SP. I'm with SP. I'm already with SP. I am with SP. And applying the repetition, repeating it over and over is really what saturates the mind and starts to bring everything in way more powerfully. So as I touched on the idea of thought patterns, it's also the concept of building up habits and thought patterns to do with the new version. So you're teaching your mind how to think. It's also teaching your body how to automatically react, therefore release anxious reactions, feeling panicked, spiraling, wavering, the neural pathways that connect with your mind, and that would signal every time you see your SP's name, you start to panic or have anxious thoughts. You're teaching your mind not to think that way, because you're saying, whether it's seeing your SP or seeing something to do with a manifestation, you're telling your mind and teaching your mind and body to say, this is something positive. Here's a positive statement. Here's a positive statement. And repeating your affirmations over and over in the moment. So when you start to panic, when you start to spiral, obviously as well, just as part of repetition throughout the day, telling yourself, I have my desired end result. My manifestation is here right now. Just repeating it over and over is normal, as well as in the context of your mental diet. You're teaching your mind to let go of the negative, to let go of jumping to worst case scenario, to let go of the habit of catastrophizing if you still do that. Anything that could lead to wavering and spiraling and more doubtful thoughts, it's going to let go of that. You're creating new thought patterns because day in, day out, you are repeating to yourself a specific way of thinking. You're repeating to yourself a specific assumption, and that is eventually going to completely override the negative one. Also remember that the 3D reality reflects your dominant thoughts. So again, the more you repeat the positive new version of what you want your reality to be, the more it will start to reflect in your 3D reality. The repetition of that is building it up. You cannot keep repeating something to yourself and then forget it, not remember it, not have it become a habit, not have it constantly come up in your mind, and then eventually not believe it. And if you believe it, your 3D reality has to believe it, which means it has to conform, has to physically shift to bring in that new belief and assumption. So because I focused a lot on, the negative circumstances, it is a really important element, because if you've gone, months or years or just had a significant amount of repetition and emotionally significant events that really, really affected you, such as a breakup with your specific person, not getting the job you want, just something in your life that was really a really important element, not coming to fruition and just kind of being a disappointment, that is going to stick in your mind. That is going to affect you emotionally and therefore mentally. Let's say your TV show doesn't play on the day of the week that you think it does and it's taking a 3-week hiatus. That is not going to affect you. You might have a momentary disappointment. You're not going to start spiraling and thinking, oh my gosh, none of my TV shows are reliable. TV networks in Hollywood are just so untrustworthy and I can never have anything I want. Like, you're not going to spiral like that. You're not going to go on a negative rampage and start to spiral with your thoughts. It's just, versus having your SP tell you something really negative or hurtful. It's just not going to have the same effect on your mind. So it's about unlearning negative thought patterns and creating new habits of telling your mind automatically, where it starts to kind of have an automated response of saying, oh, here's my affirmation, here's a mental diet. This is the new practice and the new way of thinking. If your mind has had years and years of a negative experience, then obviously that is what your assumptions and beliefs are stubborn and rooted in. So the repetition is even more important to unravel whatever past experience you've had of, constantly repeating and having your 3D reflect back to you and confirm to you those negative assumptions. So when your 3D reality is showing you the opposite and what you don't want to see, it's even more important to persist, to keep applying repetition, because the more you persist with it and keep responding back to something negative with the positive news story, the more it cements into your subconscious mind, the more you're telling yourself, this is what is actually being shown to me. I'm not putting my focus or reacting or overreacting to whatever the 3D reality shows me. So repetition is even more important because it'll be hard for you to have full belief belief, full confidence, full faith in the process, when you're not seeing what you want reflected, when your 3D reality isn't yet reflecting and showing you the results of that, and you're not physically seeing movement happening, it can be a little bit disheartening, and I totally understand how that could affect you. And it's normal to have a little bit of doubt or not feel 100% confident in your manifestation, because you do get into this like delulu state of, I'm not seeing anything happen, but I'm telling myself that I have this amazing perfect result in my reality regardless. So I understand it can be hard to do that. The repetition is going to help, because no matter what you feel, no matter what you see, in that moment, you're still telling your mind over and over, I have my perfect result, I have my perfect result, I have my perfect result right now. That's what your mind is going to take in. Not the one reaction you had, but the 100, reps you did of your affirmation. So that is literally going to be the only way that your mind can accept the new belief, that your mind and subconsciously obviously will start to accept the new belief and assumption. The repetition is the key. I've said this in so many videos. I say it all the time in my coaching. It's so important to repeat the new version that you want and train your mind to think that way, and keep telling your subconscious, hey, we're going to let go of that negative thought and belief we've always had, or for the past few years that we've had, and here's a saturation and just a flooding of the positive affirmation that I now want you to believe. You're going to repeat it over and over and over, and that is how your mind is going to accept that new version. So that is today's video. I hope you guys found this useful and beneficial. If you enjoyed this, then please do thumbs up the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on that notification bell so you can be one of the first people to see my content, and it would also mean a lot to me. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye!